Welcome to the Childish Grown-Up Show, where we treat each episode like your movie theater experience. We catch up with one another, play some games, talk previews, and before you know it, it's time for the feature presentation. So sit tight and enjoy this ride of nostalgia on the Childish Grown-Up Show.
Welcome back to another episode of the Childish Grown-Up Show. It's your favorite podcast. It's your favorite day of the week. And to add to that, by the time some of you are listening to this, it's Thanksgiving. So we're so thankful to be here another week to do another episode. I am one of the hosts, Maurice Hunter III, aka Mo. I'm here with Ash Bash, Mia B. Ladies, how y'all feeling?
I'm feeling all right.
It's the holidays, so I am making it. The kids are off for a whole week. I don't remember us getting a whole week off for Thanksgiving, but it's okay.
Did your kids have fall break?
They got like 1 day for fall break, but they get a whole week for Thanksgiving and then 2 weeks for like Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was looking at it. I look at it kind of like a fall break because they get the 1 week. So that's kind of how I was kind of looking at it or whatever. But nonetheless, we are here to do this thing called the Childish Grown-Up Show, having a good time and giving y'all a holiday episode as we've been doing in this rotation. With that being said, we do have some comments from the Stoop kids. Those are the supporters that listen to our show that are part of this community of being childish grown-ups. So, one from our last episode of our 1997 film, Soul Food, Sister Candace pulled up again on us. She says, great episode. I grew up having Sunday dinner at my grand's house faithfully, and just like this movie, when she passed, our family kind of fell apart. So I always get emotional watching this movie. I don't want to be too long, but it's so much to say. Terry suffered from oldest daughter syndrome. Max was jealous of Terry. Bird was a bird. And Big Mama was the true villain. Mackay was the better limb, but Darren had moments in the series that were believable. The series was a good watch. It gave it more background on each character. What do y'all want to say to that comment right there?
Not Big Mama was the villain. That is hilarious. I really gotta have to ask her what she means by that. But I agree with pretty much everything else.
Yeah, Big Mama being the villain is funny, so I would like to hear more.
Yeah, elaborate.
To that. And as far as Lim, I mean, I'm a Mackay fan and I'm a Darren fan, so it's really, like she said, the series took it more in depth with their characters, so it's hard to compare like the one movie to a 5-season series for me. So Darren is Lim Van Adams for me because he just 5 seasons of him. He killed
5 seasons, yeah. No doubt.
You know what I mean? So, but hey, shout out to her. She was really locked in the episode. She had a lot of details in there. Appreciate you.
Yeah, there's I forgot what the podcast is, but I had sent y'all something where they were talking about thin line between love and hate, and talking about how Mia was the real villain. Wasn't her name Mia? Am I tripping?
Yeah, it was Mia.
Yeah. So
I know she would. Don't do her.
I mean, something about me is no. I'm just playing. We love you here. We love you, darling. Nah, but it was a funny, compelling argument. Like just his take on why, like how she was playing games, and it's really good. If y'all go back into our feed, not the listeners, but y'all too, go back into the text chain and just see what dude was talking about. It's funny. I mean, don't make it true, but it's an interesting take. So, I like that, and that's what I wanted y'all to write in on, just that significance of the matriarch of the family being gone, and just the connection there, and it falls on us now as the next generation up. So The movie definitely is one of my favorites. One of my favorite reviews. It was so seamless and just so enjoyable. So I loved it. And we got one more comment from our guy, Public Enemy B, Chuck. You know what I'm saying? He says, "Oh, well, he left his vote. Who made the potato salad would make for a hilarious watch, even though Back to the Future might be considered the better movie." That's what he left. But that was a comment on our YouTube page. So we did do the voting, and that reveal will be at the end of this. I would like to say this though: we were successful in taking that leap of faith and putting it in the listeners' hands to pick movies and vote. So we were successful, and we'll give the reveal at the end of this. But that is all of our comments, I believe, unless there was some Instagram comments that y'all seen. I don't think I seen anything. I think maybe just Candace might have talked about looking forward to it. But yeah. So again, y'all can write into us, childishgrownups3@gmail.com. Or y'all can hit us up on Instagram, the Childish Grown Up Show, no spaces. And we got some more social connections we're gonna be making here and revealing soon. So y'all stay tuned for that. Oh man, here we go. Childish Grown Up moment. It's that time of the year, y'all. It's that time. Mia B, I'm gonna throw the ball in your court first. You got a childish grown up moment this week?
Um, the only thing I can say, I have a really crazy story, y'all. And I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, but I have to tell y'all this crazy story. And I guess my childish grown up moment can be like mixed in here a little bit. So me and Mama C were taking Jovi to see Wicked for good Wednesday. It was an early release, and my mom had bought the tickets like a month ago, right? So we get there, of course, my mom had smuggled in our snacks or whatever. She had went to the store, got us whatever we wanted. We had our little stuff. But of course, when we got there, my daughter was like, I need popcorn and an icy. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I went and got some snacks. Tell me why we sat in that movie theater. They was supposed to start at 6 o'clock, 2 hours, and they couldn't get the movie to work and canceled it and told us that they had to give us a rain check.
So do they give y'all the tickets back, or what's the?
So what they did, like, so first they told us they were working something out and it was going to take like 20 minutes. So we're like, okay, cool. They come back out. It's going to be another 10, 15 minutes. And we're going to give you some free movie passes to go see, any movie at one of our theaters. Then they come back like 30 minutes later, if something else is wrong, and like, we don't know how long it's going to be. Um, you're welcome to wait. We're going to give you passes specifically to see Wicked, but you can only use them here because they're a rain check ticket. So we're like, okay. So then they come back out after another 30 minutes or so. Altogether, it was 2 hours because we didn't leave until like after 8 o'clock. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to call it. Something happened and it's gonna take at least another hour, hour and a half for us to get it up and running. So we'll give you a refund. So we did end up getting movie passes and they refunded my mom for the tickets, but it was just like it just ruined the experience because we were supposed to see it first. My daughter is like boo-hoo crying. She
Oh
cried
wow!
so much. Everybody's like, oh, and like cried the whole way home. She was so devastated.
Dang.
And then for the rain check tickets, you have to physically take them to the movie theater to buy the tickets. So when I was like, okay, I have to take her to see it soon, everything is like sold out for opening weekend, of course. And I'm looking at everything selling out. So I'm just trying to hurry up and grab tickets when I can. So I looked for tomorrow night. There were literally two seats that were together. And so I just went ahead and bought them because I'm like, I don't have time to wait to go physically to the movie theater because it'll be sold out. So it was just like, yeah.
Mm. That might be a call off day. You know what I'm saying? Call off sick day at school and go and
Taking
catch
her
you.
tomorrow night. So
Okay, well, you found the window. All right.
yes,
Mhm.
and we'll go see it again and use the passes.
Right.
It's okay. It's okay, Monica. It's
No,
okay, Monica.
It's
for
okay,
real.
Mom.
It's okay, mine. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
all
it's
right.
crazy.
Is that Wicked a sequel or is like a deluxe? What is?
So Wicked is a play, so there are 2 acts. It's act 1 and act
Oh, okay.
second act is Wicked for Good. So it's technically a sequel, but it's act 2 of the
Ah,
whole thing.
okay, fair enough.
Mhm.
Fair enough. Ash Bash, what about you?
Just thought of one because I really hadn't been too childish here recently, but I woke up Anthony getting him ready for school, normal routine, and I don't know, I just started singing, like making up songs to get him to wake up. And it just fun. Like our dad used to like wake us up in the morning singing, making up songs to get us
Oh
woke.
my
He was
gosh.
always singing at the crack of dawn, and it's like, bro, this is not the time. I'm a zombie right now. Try to,
So
Oh
you're
cute.
man.
singing, like it just, it's so annoying, but I
Oh
just,
man.
oh no, I was in my freestyle bag. I'm singing and I'm tickling him and I'm remixing
In
it
the
and
morning?
everything in the morning. Like I get him up, I make him go wash his face, and then he goes into the loft. He sits down, and I get his breakfast ready. But he sits in the recliner, and then he's like obviously still half asleep. And so I'm like, I'm clapping, I'm hitting the claps. I mean, how annoying is that? The clapping is crazy. I'm hitting the claps, I'm tickling him, and he's starting to laugh and smile. I'm trying to wake him up because he just be so like he done worked the whole shift. I'm
Boy,
like,
don't they be like that, boy? They get off that bus and they be like,
so yeah, it's been pretty
man,
childish, but
dang, that's crazy. Um,
mhm.
it's just like it's a little bit of a reach, but I would go for it. So I was at Dollar Tree, just getting more items. Just always amazed. I'm always in there for too long, like most of us. I overhear somebody in there. It's like a group of people. They all like kind of scattered. They were really excited to be in there. Let's just put it that way. Really excited. And I had overheard one of them, the young ladies, and she was like, oh, I don't got enough for this. And then she was like, oh, this is $4. Oh, okay, cool. I still got $6 left. And so she's trying to find items to spend, and the nostalgia of going to like actually purposely spend your money, like as a kid, like that was like it took me back to that part of like, you remember when you had money, somebody gave you money, and the goal was never saving. Like
Mm.
saving was not like, why would I? You felt cheated when you saved. Like when you say, man, when you walked away and you had like $1 of change, you're like, man, there's got to be something else I could get. Like walking away with money as a kid, like early teenage, you felt cheated. Like, man, I got this money, and then because you like, I don't know when I'm gonna go back to the store, or when they're gonna let me spend it, or can I even buy anything? So it just spawned a little memory of like the excitement of like, you used to hear that phrase, money just burning in your pocket, ain't it? That feeling of like the innocence of just, you might have found some change around the house, you build it up, you might got a Ziploc full of coins, whatever it is, like you're so excited to spend money. And that feeling was like just one of the most innocent feelings, because Ash can account that we used to walk down to the Dollar General all the way down that long hill, go down there, and that's when we had 10-cent candy still. So we get the little Chico sticks, you get the little sugar babies is crazy, but sometimes you get it because you want to spend everything. You take it, but it's gonna be, bruh, it's gonna take your tooth out. But yeah, that was an exciting time. I just love when we used to get to spend money. Like, even $5 can get you, a lot in the era we grew up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was my childish grown up moment. Any significant, and I'm doing this simply because this is technically our Thanksgiving episode. Just real briefly, any significant Thanksgiving memory, tradition, or something that comes to mind when you think about your household. It could be your house or growing up that comes to mind that you think about when you think about Thanksgiving. Again, we trying to show love to Thanksgiving as far as celebrating as family, even this child is grown up family, because it just gets overlooked. It's treated as the prequel to Christmas. Like people just don't even give it that, and it used to mean something. That's why I'm glad Ash picked the movie she did last week. So any memory at all that comes to mind when y'all think about Thanksgiving?
Um, well, really, just business as usual. Like it's at our dad's house this year, so we'll be going there and just reminiscing, being in the kitchen with our parents, helping out with that dressing, getting your hands dirty,
Yeah, yeah,
mixing up
yeah. I
all that
forgot about that.
celery and all that gravy, and just being hands on in there, like we really was helping cook and helping dad drop the turkey with the hanger joint in the
Mm.
fryer. Listening to the music, playing cards, dancing, like you know, like that's still heartfelt to me. Like I'm all about relationships and intimacy, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Mm.
Cracking jokes, joning on each other. We stay joning on each other.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So that's forever.
that's mandatory in this family. So
Yeah, yeah. That's mandatory in the family for sure.
Mm. That must be like a regional slang because I have never heard that before.
What, Jonah?
oh, joning,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that India or Kentucky, Ash?
my Kentucky man. I
It
don't
might
know.
be. It might be Kentucky. Our Kentucky days. That's probably what maybe come from.
Ah, okay.
Jonan, ranking. You remember that
Yeah,
ranking? Don't make me rank you.
never heard either of those.
We sound foreign like Wale right now. It's like
Like,
what?
Country in there, you know what I mean.
Little country, little city. What you got, me? Anything come to mind that you when you think
yeah,
Thanksgiving?
so my fondest like Thanksgiving memories. Of course, I love the big family party, of course, being with all of my family. And I have a lot of different memories, but I think the ones that stick out to me the most are the times when me and my mom would just cook for us, just for our house. When I was a teenager, my sister was already grown with her baby. I was, in high school still. And we would get up before we went out to anybody's house and we would just make our own little meal. And my mom always had her special recipes that we would make together, the dressing, the mac and cheese that cost $1 million to make because it had like 12 different cheeses in it. And we would make the little Cornish hens instead of like a big turkey because it was just us and like greens and we would have our own meal. So we never really had to take leftovers from anybody because we would go and then we would always just have our own food at home. And that is something that I really miss. I'm gonna have to make her like come to my house and do that with me.
Yeah,
Not this year, but
yeah,
next.
but but you got 12 months to put it together.
Mm-hmm.
Ash really covered, like you really nailed it. I probably thought just to throw in and add to what Ash said. The camcorder, like the camcorder when that came into the family. I'm so upset that we don't have footage, but just the camcorder, like when that came on, it was just like magic. Especially more on Christmas. And I elaborate more on Christmas because it's more there than it is Thanksgiving. But like when that camcorder came out, bro, it was like you thought you were on TV. And the craziest part is we would actually plug it into the TV and watch it like
Yeah,
like it was somewhere else. It was like we're so surprised to see ourselves, so that camcorder. And then of course, I mean, the classic desserts, man, like the baking cake from scratch and the icing, who's getting the bowl, who's getting the spoon. And then it's three of us, so you got to figure out who get. Mama had to figure out, like, maybe two of us got to share the bowl, or we had to figure out something. Like it's always some kind of like strategy on how we all gonna get some of this cake batter. But just looking forward to that, and even just that knowing you got them few days off of school, and that waking up and you're smelling food, like getting prepared, and you're just starving, dude. Like I can just remember my stomach, like, oh, I cannot wait to eat. Like, man, so that's just a good feeling, like that. All of that, man. I miss that, but I'm glad that the tradition is still being pushed forward, and we're gonna keep pushing that thing forward.
for sure.
um, all right, Ash, go on, give it to us.
All right, it's time for the Flash with Ash Thanksgiving edition.
Ew.
So we do have some trivia today, Mia B, but these are tailored to Thanksgiving episodes. I think you guys will do pretty good. I know one you don't really rock with, but hey, we're gonna see if your partner can hold it down.
Oh man.
So we're starting off with Fresh Prince of Bel Air, In the two-part Thanksgiving episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, what jobs were Hillary and Carlton's what jobs were assigned to Hillary and Carlton when they volunteered at the homeless shelter? Was it A, Hillary served food to guests while Carlton bussed tables? Was it B, Hillary worked for the donation counter while Carlton served food? Was it C, Hillary worked for the front desk greeting people while Carlton was washing the dishes? Or D, Hillary was helping with the publicity interviews while Carlton managed the food line?
This is a hard one.
Yeah, that's so many options. Like,
because there's a thing when I think Thanksgiving, I'm thinking about this catering episode with Will and his friend that didn't show up. Like, you know what I mean?
I know this is your show, bro.
Well, not like that though.
Hey, your wife, you know.
Yeah, it's more on your wifey. Do you know the season? Can you give us the season?
I don't know what season. It was a two-part Thanksgiving episode. If you wanna, that helps. But
I don't want to spoil it. I look, but I ain't gonna. Let's see. I just want to see season because I got a guess, but
that's what I was gonna say. I mean, whatever helps.
Because there's a reason why I'm asking that. You got anything you thinking about, Mia? Or
literally no idea. I'm probably about to make an educated guess.
So there's okay. I think that one might be elaborating to season 6.
Okay.
Because the first one is talking turkey.
So yeah, I think so.
And that's when Will's mother visits, and so that one is. So I'm gonna go with the last one, the publicity. She's doing interviews, and Carlton is doing the other part. That last, I think it's D, the last
managing
one.
The food line.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, she always is in something along those lines, and I don't know. It could be wrong, but that's my educated guess.
Okay, what was the one where Hillary is doing the donations?
That's B. Hillary works the donation counter and Carlton serves the food.
Okay, I'm gonna go with that one.
It's a good one too.
All right, final answers. We locking in?
Yeah.
Yes. Bro is correct.
Oh.
It was she was doing the publicity part and Carlton was managing the food line, and they said that he was taking that job very serious.
I could see that though. That's the part. That's why I'm like, in my mind, I could see him like, come on, let's get it together. Guys, like, bro.
Okay. I know that was pretty complex there, but
it was. Because I would have.
That was literally a guess, bro. I don't know the ins and out of this Fresh Prince. Like, there's only probably maybe 3 shows I can probably know full or through and through. So,
it's Moesha. And then this, let's ease it up a little bit for y'all. During the family Thanksgiving gathering, Moesha discovers a secret that causes tension at the dinner table. It's the discovery. Miles accidentally broke Frank's car window. Dee had quit her job without telling anyone. Frank had a teenage son he never told Moesha about. Kim planned to move away after graduation. Now, I know y'all know this.
What? Oh, okay, I'm rolling whatever Mia got there because I was about to ask what season.
Absolutely. Frank had a teenage son that he never told Moesha about.
Oh, this is the last season.
Because that was Ray J.
Correct.
Hey, I'm rolling, yeah.
Even you knew that, bro, when Ray J came on the scene.
I knew, but I didn't know it was on Thanksgiving.
They tried to pass him off as the nephew. Like,
that's crazy work. Like, they really brought down this black father on TV. I know, shout out to School and, Rio, they talked about it a little bit, but like, the fact I did this on Thanksgiving too, it's crazy.
That's
even
wild.
though I mean, is that really, y'all write in, is that really a thing? Like Thanksgiving, when people come together, that's when they start, getting a why did I get married on? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen.
They better not
dangerous.
How could you be so stupid? No,
and not strap him in? All right, that's a whole nother. Yeah. All right.
The Tyler Perry film will make it on here at some point. I'm sure.
It's gonna be a great review episode. Like,
somehow. Maybe somebody will submit it. That's what I'm thinking.
Have to have you on for a guest spot when we do a Tyler Perry film because he hates Tyler Perry.
Ooh,
it might be a dealer's choice. I might have to throw one in. Who knows?
Hey.
All All right, so our last one, you all, is from the show Friends.
Hmm.
This was the one with all the Thanksgivings episode. In the famous flashback sequence, what food does Monica accidentally drop on Chandler's foot, causing his injury? A frozen turkey, a ceramic casserole dish, a tray of yams, a giant knife covered cheese board. This caused a foot injury, so let's think about this here.
I have no idea because I did not watch Friends.
Oh wow.
Um, it's got to be A or B, I would think.
Only thing I remember is Monica was the one with the turkey on her head. She was doing a little thing. She had the turkey on her head. It's like a famous clip. But I don't know if that's significant to the foot drop. But I guess I'm just gonna go with that then. I guess the turkey.
Okay. Mia?
Yeah, sure.
That is correct. The frozen
Whoa,
turkey.
whoa, hey!
All right. So are you 3 for 3?
I'm 3 for 3, man.
Wow.
That's
You need
crazy.
make sure you put the ding sound when you edit this episode.
I got a gold star today. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, that's all for the Flash with Ash, keeping us in the holiday spirit.
That was dope. That was dope. Hey, that's good because we don't do the TGIF as much as some of y'all really love those episodes. So it is good to get a little taste of that at least in the Flash with Ash. So that's dope.
Appreciate it.
All right, here we go, y'all. The moment y'all been waiting for, the moment y'all been looking forward to. Mia B.
Yes.
Without further ado, we're walking into the time machine. If you could just close that door, pull that lever, and take us back to the movie we're reviewing today.
All right, we are going back to 1996, and we are going to be talking about the amazing classic Jerry Maguire. When a sports agent has a moral epiphany and is fired for expressing it, he decides to put his new philosophy to the test as an independent agent with the only athlete who stays with him and his former colleague. For cast, we have Tom Cruise as Jerry Maguire, Cuba Gooding Jr. as Rod Tidwell, Renee Zellweger as Dorothy Boyd, Regina King as Marcy. Is it Darcy or Marcy?
Marcy.
It's Marcy. I don't know why I typed that. Marcy Tidwell. Kelly Preston as Avery Bishop, Jerry O'Connell as Frank Cushman, Jay Moore as Bob Sugar, Bonnie Hunt as Laurel Boyd, Jonathan Lepnicki as Ray Boyd, Jeremy Suarez as Tyson Tidwell, Jared Jessam as Dickie Fox, and we also have appearances from Aries Spears as TP Tidwell and Kelly Caulfield Park as Jan. This movie was released December 13th, 1996.
Oh man, thank you for that, Mia B. Be easy in the building. All right, so it's time to be kind and rewind. Ash, throw the ball in your court. How do you remember this film? Your earliest memories with the film? Like when I brought it up as this is the movie I chose. How do you remember this film then? And then what was the experience like in real time this time?
I was struggling with trying to remember how we came across this movie. I have no idea. I remember Dad was really into football, so I don't know if somehow there's a correlation where like he introduced this to us, or I just really don't remember how it landed in our possession or how we saw it. But once it did, I remember liking it. The show me the money part just really resonates. Like that's the part I remember the most is Jerry screaming that.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tom Cruise had that era going for quite some time. Very handsome, handsome guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Cuba, of course, but I don't remember how it came across, but I just remember enjoying it. And I do remember I think the replay value was pretty high back then. Like I remember watching this movie a lot, whether it was something we were putting in on our own or if it was on TV. I'm not sure, but I do remember watching this quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
because I did enjoy it a lot. And watching it this go around, still enjoyable. It felt like a new watch because I haven't seen it in years. And I love that feeling. I think that's why our podcast is so needed and refreshing because it really takes you back, especially if you haven't watched it over all these years. So definitely watching it with the grown up lens. There was some emotion in there for sure, that I could relate to. So, but still an enjoyable watch. Absolutely.
Mm. Mia B.
You know, crazy thing, I don't think I saw this movie until I was a teenager. Like, I didn't see it as a kid when it probably was like first released, or but I always remember all of the really popular quotes from it, hearing people say them, and like hearing this movie referenced in a lot of other movies and TV shows. I never knew what it was. I remember hearing about it and being curious and actually watching it as a teenager. And I loved it, of course, instantly as soon as I saw it. I didn't watch it. It wasn't like a rewatch that I watched all the time, but it is one of those movies that if it's on, I'll probably watch it. And it is one of my favorite Cuba Gooding Jr. performances as well. Um, it's definitely one of my favorite Regina King performances. I love them in this movie together. But yeah, I don't have like any crazy profound memories of it. I just know that, I loved it when I saw it. And it's still an enjoyable watch.
Mm. I remember similar to y'all. Like I definitely remember like the quotes. Obviously, to show me the money, the Quan, that whole thing. I just remember, this was a interesting movie of Tom Cruise. Is not an action movie at all. You know what I mean? And you know, feeling like I remember feeling like like man, this is just this movie has that feeling that movies used to feel like, and it's not so much it's nostalgia. At least I hope not, but it just has this feeling that a movie takes you from A to Z in the allotted time that they give you. This I think this movie maybe 2 hours, and it gets you there, and it's like it doesn't leave you having more questions. I like movies like that like leave you not like, oh, we're trying to set up a sequel, we're trying to, no, this leaves you right here complete. We're in this world for 2 hours plus, and there's it's settling in that sense. This time around, it was an interesting watch as well. I picked this movie because we've talked, we've talked music and Mia's pick, we've talked food and Ash's pick, and we're talking football. And so I think that all ties into Thanksgiving. We're gonna play. We're gonna play the tunes, the old school tunes. We're gonna have the food, and there's gonna be a football game on. So this time around, just really enjoyable, and I was looking at it in such an interesting lens, and I'll get more into that as we get into more of the conversation. So, with that being said, just some overall discussion parts that I wanted to say. This is good is subjective. I
Oh,
get I get it. Good is subjective, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Is Jerry a good guy?
Is
I
he a
think so.
good guy?
I
Yeah, I
think
don't think he's a bad guy. If that's the other option.
What makes you say he's a good guy, Mia?
I think that he is flawed like everybody else, but I think that he recognized the error in his ways and made an effort to change it, even when it didn't benefit him and when he had a lot of fear. And he may have even had some reservations about changing it, but he still did. He always moved, from a place of after he had his moral epiphany. I saw a genuine effort in him to move with care. Like it didn't, his intentions were never bad, even if he was misdirected or he didn't always make the right choice. He always tried to do the right thing for the people who were under his direct care. So I think he was a good person.
Hmm. Ash.
I agree. Mia said quite a bit on that. Once he had that epiphany, he was making the efforts to change. Um, and I think a good person is someone that does that. Like once you recognize your flaws, you try to work on being the best version of yourself. Um, and I think that's what he did. I mean, he wasn't perfect, of course, but and if you don't know, you don't know, right? So you may not know that you've been in this cycle for however long, and then he just it's like he there's a line he said that I have in the notes later on that that's what it was, and then it switched for
Mm.
him. So I wouldn't say he's a bad person.
Um, yeah, I don't think he's a bad person, but this time watching it, I realized like, he's not good as I thought he was. And then again, it ain't like I'm not meaning in like a judgmental sense, but I mean that as an observational sense of watching. And it's just these moments that I realized through the movie of like, you're kind of doing everything that benefits you. Even after you make the declaration or the memo or the mission statement, you're still kind of only doing things that are beneficial to you. Like even when you're dealing with, later in the scene with the woman and her child, and like it's still like somehow benefiting you. So it was kind of like when I watched it this time, I was like, Jerry's not quite what I thought. Like, oh, he's trying to make a change. I'm like, eh, eh, eh. He kind of because of how he feels about himself. Obviously, we'll get into that, but he wasn't like what I thought. How I remembered, I kind of seemed like, which again, he's like a lot of us. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just being our age and kind of really getting that observation. I was like, you still ain't quite what I think you're trying to give off. And there's scenes that kind of give me a little bit more of that. Yeah. How did y'all feel about Cuba Gooden? Let me say his whole name. How do y'all feel about his performance here? And where does this line up in your favorite Cuba Gooden roles?
He did great. This is top tier for Cuba. Bald headed Cuba with the pin suit at the end. Let's talk about it with the open. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah, I think Cuba he did his thing, and he looked good doing it. I've never been attracted to Cuba. Let's be clear. But in this movie, hey,
You got it
I want to
off.
rub the bald head, but no, I think he did great. Emotionally sound, like the way he was able to drop them tears, like man, it was um striking. And I think this is probably my favorite because I'm trying to think of some movies that he was like the lead in. Of course, Fighting Temptations,
Boys in the Hood.
Radio.
Well, he
I
wasn't the lead, but Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, that was like
Man of Honor.
what?
Man of Honor. Remember the swim movie where he had the suit on? He had lost his leg, and he was like
Uh,
with him and Robert De Niro. Like he it was
I
a
don't know
kind
if
of
I've seen that. I might have to.
you definitely seen it, and you definitely liked it back then, bro. Like go back to
Oh,
the
really?
trailer. Yeah, you liked it. Like he was like, hey man. Yeah, I remember, bro. Like that Man of Honor. Shout out to our big cousins, the Culture Garden, because they did that movie, and when they talked about it, it brought me back. I said, "Oh, this movie was fire! Like he killed that." Uh,
I have to refresh. Maybe look at the trailer because it doesn't sound familiar. But maybe if I look at the trailer. But yeah, this is my favorite. He was charismatic, a family man. He just had a good energy about him. He was just trying to make it, trying to get to a level to be able to take care of his family comfortably, and I liked him.
mm. Mia?
Yeah, I thought it was really fun. I love to see an actor's versatility, and I think this really shows, like, because he can do a serious role. We've seen it. We've seen him, in Man of Honor. We've seen him do um, OJ. We've seen him in
Oh
Radio.
yeah, OJ, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
even in Fighting Temptations was like, another comedy. But this was, first of all, this was the best shape I've ever seen him in. Cause who was that? Who was that? Um, no, I thought that he brought such a a vibrant energy to the film where like he was a little over the top, but he was like a joy to see on screen. And his chemistry with Regina King was so good. Like they had some amazing on-screen chemistry that you wouldn't, I don't even think that I've seen them in another film together. Um but oh well, she was in Boys in the Hood, but they didn't interact much then. But no,
Mm-hmm.
like, it was just, and I'm a sucker for a beautiful black family depicted on film. He was a good man, good man. Savannah. He loved that woman and he loved them kids, and he was doing right, taking care of his family. And I just really love that character, and I love what he brought to the character.
Mm. Just to acknowledge a few things, because I didn't even realize this many awards exist. So, Academy Awards, Best Actor in Supporting Role for this. Acapulco Black Films, best. Well, not for this, but also American Comedy Awards, which this is not a comedy, but funniest supporting actor in a motion picture. Blockbuster Entertainment Awards. How nostalgic is that? I didn't even know they had an awards. Favorite supporting actor in a comedy/romance. Critic Choice Awards, Best Supporting Actor. Chicago Film Critics Association Awards, Best Supporting Actor. Dallas Fort Worth Film Critics Association Awards, Best Supporting Actor. Golden Globes, Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role in a Motion Picture. So, and it goes on and on. He really did. He did his big one on this, and I think people really appreciate it. It's one of those things where you want more from Rod Tidwell. Like you really want more. Like, like this. If this movie came out in this era, not only could this show be a series, Jerry Maguire could be a series. I feel like HBO Max could have picked this up. That's what Ballers was, so to speak. But I also think the Rod Tidwell really that whole thing could have really been great because that family dynamic, everything about it would have been really good. So,
yeah, for sure. A TV show with him, his wife, his brother,
oh yeah,
more about his other brother, the kid.
Yeah.
Like it would have been dope.
Listen, watch you hear something like this come out after this. This is how it always happens. Just a little trivia, not trivia, but a little bit of interesting information. So one, Jerry Maguire role was originally written for Tom Hanks. How do y'all feel like Tom Hanks would have did?
I mean, I'm sure he could have done it, but I can't unsee Tom. I mean,
Cruise.
Other time.
Cruise.
Right. Tom Cruise. That's funny.
I feel you.
He's just a little more. I don't know, because I mean.
Well, it's the thing about Jerry is the Jerry Maguire character is the fact of the matter is that there is this like part of he's this kind of playboy, which we get that kind of scene on his birthday, and I don't think Tom Hanks ever gave that off like this sex symbol because it all lines up with who he is.
Yeah, the thing with Jerry and Avery when you were first introduced to Avery, I cannot see Tom Hanks because Tom Hanks is America's dad, and you don't want to see your dad getting down.
Hey,
like,
so was Bob Saget.
Can we just?
Yeah, I forgot about that, didn't you?
Focus. I'm saying. I could see him playing this role. I'm sure he's done roles similar to this sort of character, like with You've Got Mail and some other stuff. But I feel like this role is definitely a very famous Tom Cruise role, so I can't see anybody else in it because it's just Tom Cruise is Jerry Maguire.
Is there anybody else y'all could see possibly pulling this off in '96?
In 96,
Could I'm gonna give some names here. Brad Pitt.
he would have been too young at the time, I think.
Okay.
96.
Bruce Willis.
Um, I like Bruce.
I think Bruce could have. I think he's good looking enough to.
Let me see what he looked like in '96.
I mean, he's Bruce, but Tom is Tom.
No doubt. I mean, Johnny Depp.
Bruce could have did it.
Let me
Now
see.
that I'm
How
looking.
old was Brad Pitt in 96?
If Brad was old enough, he definitely could have did it because it's a certain charisma that I feel like this Jerry Maguire has to have.
Old enough.
Just like how we were saying BD energy in faculty, so there's a certain charisma this role requires.
It
and
does.
So if I don't feel like you have that charisma, it's a certain swag. Jerry had a little bit of, there was some seasoning in there.
Yeah, it was.
So,
Brad right. He was old enough by then to do it.
Okay.
And don't ever sleep on Brad's comedic timing because he's funny.
He got some moments. Do y'all think that the agent could have been black? Knowing that his hit. Okay. Like, I mean, obviously, if they did a remake now, yeah, sure. But now then, I think it works perfectly because of like some of the moments that they have actually in the movie. A couple more interesting things. Cuba Gooding Jr. got naked for his audition with Tom Cruise. So in '96, the Journal from Rolling Stone, Crowe recounted Gooding's audition. Cruise and Gooding had worked together before in A Few Good Men. So that's interesting. So Cruise was excited to reunite with him. Gooding and Cruise read the locker room scene, and he says, "Am I naked in this scene?" Gooding asked. He says, "Yes." Crowe responded. Gooding snapped down his pants and stood naked. Crowe writes, "Come on, let's go," he said. Stunned and laughing, we watched as Gooding beckoned with his hands, as in, "Bring it on. Come on, let's read the scene." He shouted joyously, "I'm going to get this part. I ain't afraid of nothing." Gooding won the role, and because Gooding was slightly shorter than an average football player, Crowe rewrote the character's description as a football player who some felt was too short for the NFL.
I like that. Okay.
Continuity is huge. Huge. That's dope because there was a scene for that.
Right.
I'm trying to say, is there anything more interesting? They got some other interesting stuff and not such a big deal. I think there's one thing. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s father wasn't allowed on the set. I'll leave that there. The Jonathan Lenicky kept saying that, the human head, that whole line, he was doing that on the set for real, so they decided to write it into the movie. Here's something interesting. So Crowe, I think he's the writer and director. He says the Quan. He hoped the Quan would be a more popular catchphrase than "Show me the money." Obviously, it didn't, but we remembered it in our household. And that's it. That's kind of it for like the overall discussion. I just want to throw a little bit of that stuff in there and just some conversational pieces with Tom Cruise and yeah, this is top 5 Cuba roles. So I would maybe, I don't know, that Man of Honor is really good. I'll come back to that, but it's top 5. All right, let's get into it. So the beginning, this is where I'll go start first. When his client was in the hospital, we see this scene. We kind of getting the full layout. We're getting this voiceover work from Tom Cruise, I believe. And his client, there's one of his clients that are a football player that's in the hospital, and he's faced, I believe, 6 concussions, and he was down, but he was playing, but he wanted to get back, and so the son was even more concerned. And Jerry pretty much gives him like a generic like phrase like, "Hey man, nothing can stop your dad," and he was like pretty much "F you" and stuff like that. And that's kind of like the setup for the transition of Jerry and where he's going to go and what's going to be the premise of the film. So, and I'm gonna try to keep this more of a similar to the overall discussion, like keep it kind of free flowing. So this is where I'll say, and then y'all can elaborate on that going into the transition of him, writing his mission statement.
Mhm.
This is where I feel like I said Jerry's not really as good as I thought he was. Like I thought, like, oh man, because he was doing this for so long. He was being this way for so long. And I mean, obviously one day he woke up and he changed his mind about who he wanted to be and how he felt about himself in the world. And maybe he always felt that, but what do y'all think about that scene, and what do y'all think about what's your theory and idea on who Jerry was up until he finally decided this ain't who I want to be anymore?
So from what I could tell, he grew up with a love of the sport. He talked about, being able to be his father's son again, having, a mentor or, an idol who was an agent who did things the right way. And I feel like he probably didn't get into it thinking that it would be that way. But once you get into that corporate structure and you see how things work, you start being successful. It's really easy to fall into, you know, looking at people as dollar signs. Business is business. And I think just the fact that in that moment he was able to even have that wake up call, because some people would have said, this little boy just said, fuck you, oh, damn, and just went on about their business. But he actually took that to heart and had, to sit with himself and reflect and really think about, like, who have I become? Like, this isn't who I was supposed to be. And I think just like, I've been there, I know a lot of people have been there, he's a human. He was
Yeah,
making money. People who make a lot of money often do things that are morally gray.
true. That's a good point. Ash?
Yeah, and I mean the expectation becomes higher, obviously, the more money you do make. So
Mm.
I'm sure there's a quota that he has to hit, and then his cut or whatever he's getting, aside from the company, what you're making the company. Obviously, he was a shark, top dog, and he was just on autopilot. Everything was becoming transactional. Like you said, it seems like he was a seasoned sports agent at this point, so everything is autopilot. Checks coming in, checks and balancing, and so yeah, there was no feelings in it. Like I'm just hitting the target every time. Like that's what they expect me to do. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm glad he did, have that wake up call.
That's
Um,
interesting. You say that because that is, sometimes we do get in a space where we're trying to just constantly work our way up to higher, more responsibility, bigger role, bigger authority figure in the workplace. But there is these requirements that will force you to be number more and more. And that's a good point. I didn't think about it, but like, yeah, that's a tough place because you make it because like I say, more money, more problems. Like you gotta like you lose so much of yourself. And this where I would say again, a movie like this, like if they were to do a remake, I wouldn't say bring it back and do it all over again. And I would say give us a prequel. You know what I mean? The making of Jerry Maguire, or a series, a limited series or something. Like I would like to see his upbringing. I would like to see how he got there, or Rod Tidwell. But it made me wonder because he was talking about his father a little bit, and I'm gonna transition this into kind of like where he made that decision and to write the memo slash mission statement. It makes me wonder, like and again, there was a little bit of that. There was that scene, and then obviously there was one of his clients. He wouldn't sign the card because he had an exclusive deal with a specific card company. And shout out to the sports cards back in the day. Like that was a huge nostalgic thing. People collected sports cards. I didn't get on that wave, unfortunately, but I sure wish I did because it always looked dope. But so he's up late at night, and he's getting to it. He's writing this mission statement because he wants to do things. But here's the crazy part about it. Be careful what you wish for. That alone could be the moral of the story. but you talk about less clients, less money, but like more obviously intimate reactions. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he decided to do. Have y'all had moments like this? Like, I'm not necessarily writing a mission statement, but like you just, you know, woke up one day or it was up late, everybody sleep in the house, and just had a moment. It's like, you know what? I've been saying I'm going to change in this way. I'm going to do this differently. This is what I don't like about myself. I'm tired of being like this. You just, whatever it is, you just make a hard declaration to do a 180. Have y'all had moments like this?
Hell yeah.
Mm.
I ain't gonna tell y'all all my business, but
All right, that's cool. That's cool.
You can tell
absolutely.
me. Look, you can tell me.
We'll be back.
Right, yeah.
Sure, I have. I can't think of anything like off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
I'm sure I've had that experience before. But
Yeah, I could be a radical, so I've definitely had this experience. Like, I'm a very passionate person, so I'm sure people could probably tell. But when I feel strongly about something and it's running through my soul like that, I will absolutely do the same thing Jerry did. So, Jerry's on the plane and he's, is talking to what looks like another woman that's interested in him. It seems like I didn't really catch what her position was, but maybe she worked for the company. Um, but
well,
yeah,
she was talking about his fiance. Like she was like, "Tell me about the proposal or something." So I feel like she knew he was off market. So I don't know.
okay,
Maybe that was just
yeah,
like
some
Mhm.
backhanded, like
some colleague,
trying to find a flaw, trying to make him work husband, work
work
hubby,
husband.
club hubby. Shout out to T Pain. Uh, but yeah, like getting that whole thing, and then that's when we get Dorothy's like, obviously ear hustling. From they in first class, and she's ear hustling from the other place, and she's just looking at him like he's just so dreamy, like just who he is. And we get to the airport, and this is an interesting moment because Dorothy was, they have a moment or whatever, and Dorothy was just talking about how she was so into his memo, his mission statement, and it draws him. Yeah, like he's walking out, but he. The interesting thing about it for me is, and I want to ask what y'all think is, even though I don't think it resonated just yet fully for Jerry, he was seen because in the earlier scene when he was talking about what he was writing, he felt like he had so much to say, but nobody would listen. And so this moment was like there's somebody that is listening, and they're not looking at you for your clout. They're not looking at you for your money, for your client list, for your looks. Somebody like really feels where you're coming from. And so I thought that was an intriguing thing. It didn't resonate deeply for Jerry just yet, but I really liked how his Tom Cruise played the reaction in that moment, and even how she played it as well. What did y'all think about the airport scene? Obviously, the son was there as well.
Yeah, it was cute. Them swinging Ray back and forth, talking about the mission statement. Like, yeah, like you said, he felt seen. She was really invested. You dang near felt like she could read it word from word. You know what I mean? She was so like every word was hidden for her, is how it came off. She was just really seeing Jerry for him, like in that moment, for what she knew of him until obviously it got, got real. But
Yeah, I have thoughts about about them in general, but I did think this was a sweet scene. I think for me, Ray is like one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. He was the most adorable little boy, and he
Mm-hmm.
was very hard not to fall in love with. Even from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
him taking Jerry's hand, like, okay, you guys swing me. Like, you don't know this man, but he didn't care because he was just like a sweet, innocent little boy. But you see, it seemed like Dorothy was really inspired and maybe even a little infatuated, had a little crush on Jerry. You could kind of tell right from the beginning that she saw something. But then, even more so, I noticed she just saw instantly any interaction between Ray and Jerry, it was like a trigger for her, like where she just like kind of held on to that. And
Hmm.
I think that drove some of her infatuation with him. But I do think she was inspired by what he said, and she wanted him so badly to be the person that wrote that mission statement. And that's who, she was seeing him as in that moment.
Here's an interesting thing. So she's 26. We got that line. Obviously, I'm the oldest 26-year-old. Do y'all want to take a guess at how old Jerry's supposed to be?
I would say maybe 34, 35.
Ash.
36.
Jerry was 35.
Okay.
So that's a very interesting dynamic. I didn't know that. I mean, I see it, but I guess I thought he was a little closer in age. Not that that's a problem. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I just thought it was an interesting thing that difference in age. How do y'all feel that Jerry feels about kids? Because I couldn't get a good read.
That's a good question.
I read it as like, I didn't think that he was somebody who particularly like loved kids, but I don't think he was like one of those people who's, I don't like kids or get kids away from me. Because he even let Tyson come in there and tear up his office and didn't say too much or look too much at it. And he instantly, like, you could tell that he didn't have a lot of experience with kids, just the way he talked to Ray, saying cuss words and just kind of talking to him like he was a little grown up.
Mm-hmm.
But you could see that he felt comfortable, like he liked him. Or maybe it was just he liked Ray, not kids in general, but just
that could be, yeah. And then there's the aspect of him with his father. They didn't elaborate deeply into it, but there it is, this looming thing that is there. Obviously, his mentor plays like a father figure because of whatever the relationship was with him and his father. So maybe that's tied into it as well. Because I was trying to get a read on it, but I think I like the way you put it. Like Ray kind of, he was having a new, fresh, real life experience with Dorothy and Ray.
Some meaning behind it.
Yeah. There's some. So the sex scene. So him and his fiance. I didn't write her name down, but him and his fiance.
Avery.
What's her name?
Avery.
So now is Avery in Nothing to Lose? Isn't that?
Yes, I think that's
So
her.
I remember. So that's a memory that came back. I said, "Yo, she was supposed to be cheating in that movie too on Nick Beam." I said, "Yo, what's up?" Like, even though we found out, it's her twin sister, but still, I'm like, "Why are you always getting active in these joints, man?
Active, you hear me?
What's happening? Like you like Julia Stiles with black men?" But Avery, they're getting busy, and I guess they have this honesty rule that they just keep it a bean, keep it 100, keep it a glass of water. And she says, in the midst of being stroked out, she says, I'm down. I'm down for a menage. I'm down for, in the words of George Costanza, how do you say, menage a trois? And this is something that they're practicing, this blatant honesty. But bro, this is so random. Super random. What do y'all got to say about this scene? Like, this is like what?
Well, I do remember this scene growing up too. Like, I feel like maybe we watched this with Mom at some point and we had to close our eyes on this
Definitely
scene.
Closed eyes joint.
And I feel like we were still looking.
I was peeking all the way. I'll tell you right now. That's why I am like I am. If y'all wonder where the Moisms come from, that's why.
So I do remember this scene vividly, but what she said right after it was, and then in the tone of voice she said it too, like, if you ever want me to be with another woman, like, what?
Bro, if you just want that, just say that. Say what you mean the
I've never
first
been with
time.
a woman, but what are you talking about?
But then she doubled back and said, "Well, except for in college." Like, okay, now.
Yeah, like it was super random. Like, because then it's like, is he not putting it? I mean, like, why would you say
That
that? Like, go straight into like the opposite sex. Like, are you not being satisfied by Jerry? I don't know.
I just think she's a super horn dog. Like he alone ain't enough. Like she's down for everything. Like that's the gather that's what I got from her. Like she's all the way like I need everything. I need all this. Like and this is crazy. This is the 90s. Like this is regular things in the 2020s, 2010s even. But like this is 90s and she's like all like I'm strapped in, ready to go.
Her drive was probably higher than Jerry's because she was like,
Oh
no.
yeah.
And he was like, I have to stop at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I don't have any comments on this particular scene
Oh yeah.
because we'll talk about it.
Okay, because I'm just trying to. I don't know. I wish I got a little bit more because I got a theory, but it ain't strong enough to present, so I'm not going to present it. But if I got a little bit more from Avery, then I will drive the theory, but I'm not going to bring it up. Jerry's keeping it moving. You know what I'm saying? He's doing this thing like he always does. He pulls up to the job, and he's already given a memo out after being inspired at 2, 3 in the morning. And everything, and he meets with Bob Sugar, you know what I'm saying? And, there's something about that last name Sugar. Yeah, I go watch No Country for Old Men. Same thing. Like crazy. But he invites him to go on lunch, and before he goes on lunch, we see Rod Tidwell's wife, and she's trying to, get where her man, what she feel her man is owed. And he's trying to kind of assess the situation, but obviously Rod is lower on his client list because he's not exceptional. He's not an exceptional player at this point, and he's obviously he's hard to work with, so it makes him harder to be marketable. And then he goes on lunch with Bob Sugar, and Bob Sugar don't waste no time. He pretty much said, "Hey man, they brought me here to fire you," and then Jerry knew immediately, like, oh, being in a public place, like for your reaction, all that was diabolical. But man, he knew right away. And so at that point, cut the lunch short, goes back, and he's trying to pretty much do damage control. He's trying to lock in his clients before, but obviously Bob Sugar gets the upper hand. React. What y'all want to say about this?
Ash.
Yeah, that was crazy work. So Jerry was his mentor, and you send the mentee to fire me, they're the sensei. So just to be clear, he's being fired because of the mission statement. Is this correct? Is this why he's firing? They're firing him.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that was pretty lengthy, wasn't it? Like about. Yeah, I mean, it was like
a little like a workbook, little workbook.
He had a lot to say.
Little packet, like a little packet.
I don't have too much to say aside from that was insane, and then the fact that they already was in motion to steal all his clients is crazy. But then also it makes me think like they were all so willing to go. I mean, I guess money talks, but it's like Jerry has proven himself up until this point. So I'm like, dang, they was all so ready to just pack up and dip. So
I think that there was.
But it's like having the machine behind you. You feel me? Like Jerry's good, but this is the machine.
So. I think it was because of the firm he worked for. The companies had a relationship with the firm. He was the agent through them, and they knew that firm had connections that Jerry was benefiting from. I will say, I don't know if I would say that Rod wasn't an exceptional player because he did say to the team owner that, or whatever, that he had broken all of the records for whatever it was that season before. And it was like, so he's a good player, but he's too small. and he's not personable. He don't, he's not likable. He don't want to dance, you know. But Bob Sugar was such a sleazeball. Every phone call he made was just made me so mad. Everything he was saying on the phone.
Cringe.
And the one client who was crying on the phone with Jerry, I'm so sorry. And then she thought she clicked over and she was like, he was like, it's still me. She started crying again.
That
So
was
you
funny.
kind of see that he's struggling. But
Mhm.
then he gets on the phone with Rod, and Rod just will not shut up. His phone is lighting up with other clients trying to call him, but he can't get off the phone with Rod until he secures that Rod's gonna stay with him. But Rod just keeps talking until the point where he has Jerry screaming, "Show me the money," and all of his other clients hang up, and then there you have it. One
But,
man.
but Rod, it's like he must have been. I mean, obviously, we know he's not been getting the personal attention as he says. Because I'm like, he has so much to say, like to air out on this phone call, and I don't know, like he just. I guess he felt like the time was now, especially now that you you pretty much chop liver. Like, hey, these are my demands, and either you get with it or I'm out. But we saw what happened once his biggest client was willing to stay, and
Cushman.
yeah, I know you're gonna get into it, bro. But
No, you're fine. I mean, yeah, I think, Rod was, he just had the ego thing. He probably was that guy in college. You know what I'm saying? He probably did really well in college. Probably had more of a average NFL career, maybe slightly above average. Like he's probably really a really good wide receiver, but because of his, mouth, how he talks to his coach, how he talks about players and his entitlement, he probably wasn't treated as that. And he just had a certain sense of entitlement, and that's why I think he approached Jerry in that sense. But yeah, that was crazy how they definitely set him up. I remember being fired from a job, and I remember like the HR person was like following me, like as I was packing my stuff from the desk, like following me, like I'm really looking at like, bro, for real, like it was a woman too. It was just like, y'all really think I'm about to lose my cool for real? Like, and I really didn't like it. And they fired me on some like nonchalant vibe too. I was like, damn, like, hell yeah, man, I'm sorry, we can't do nothing about it. You gotta go. Like, I was like, oh, like, hey, listen, if y'all ain't ever been fired, bro, hey, it's quite the experience, bro. Like, you can't compute like what's going on when you get fired. Like, because you just never see that happening. So them doing like him firing him on the spot like that at lunch is crazy. Like, what?
yeah,
But it was a great scene as far as, okay, it's the hustle, me versus you. You know what I mean? So unless I got anything before that, I got, so when the Cushman family, so Jerry is like still thinking that he's got, the quarterback Cushman that's about to be drafted. He think he's locked in. The father's like, yeah, come on through. Like, yeah, and he finds out that the Cushman family signed with Bob Sugar while he was with Rod because he was black. That was wild.
Now, did they say that they signed because Rod
no,
was
they said you were in the lobby with the black fella or the color something he said,
black
Mm-hmm.
but
belt?
yeah.
Because he said they signed an hour ago.
Well, they were just saying he wasn't available. You were too busy talking to Rod.
He talked
But
to Rod. That's crazy because it's like y'all already wanted out on Jerry. And again, if you're a parent and we're a little older and our child is exceptional and they're in a position of opportunity, you're kind of looking like, what's the best position? Like, yeah, I like Jerry, but I like them having a whole collective behind them for my son and for my daughter. So I do get where the father was coming. I didn't like the snake vibe
Yeah.
of like you sit here, this man got the hat on, this man is like going out his way. You know what time it is. And that's why I think the Rod Tidwell character works so well in this moment, because that's I won't put it that way, but like that's black people. Like our code of ethics is just different. You know what I mean? And especially even in the sense of the rise of success, our code of ethics is just different. Not to say that theirs is not aligned with what ours is, but Rod Tidwell really, it really locked in, or I really identified with that similarity in how we gauge opportunities. So what did y'all think about that scene though? That whole thing where he's talking to Rod, and Rod is knowing what time it is, like, and he could feel like they're trying to work the room, get him some opportunities and stuff, trying to make him like a marketable, football player. And then obviously, we get the big reveal that they signed with Bob Sugar, with the former agent company that Jerry worked for.
I don't think that in that moment Rod had 100% started believing in the vision just yet, because he kind of was still playing second fiddle to Cush. But I enjoyed seeing him and Jerry working the room together, and Jerry introducing him to everybody, and just seeing him, even if it wasn't first string, give him that effort and kind of give him the attention that he wasn't getting. But then so the thing that Kushner scene that bothered me so much is because his dad told Jerry, I don't do contracts. My word is bond, basically. My word is better than any piece of paper. And then why did you even invite Jerry up here if you already signed? You knew you was playing in his face. You could have just told him, hey, we decided to go in another direction. Right. We decided to stay with the agency. Why would they let him come up there and think that he was still hired when they had already, like, that was so out of order.
Dirtball.
They could have just told him. Finding out like that was so wicked. And
you hugged this man and everything, man.
And then and just they're all just sitting there knowing what happened, just lying and pretending and playing in his face when they could have just told him the truth.
Meanwhile, he was putting all his efforts into
Cushman.
Yeah, Cushman. And so it was nice to see Rod getting some of his just due, suited up, walking around, especially like it was just refreshing to see, like, because he is your client, he did agree to stay with you. And so at some point, you're going to have to acknowledge me and acknowledge the choice that I've made with staying with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're not going to hold up your end of the bargain and treat me just like I'm your highest client,
mm-hmm.
then I'm walking. Because like you said, it's just a different code of ethics. Like, listen, and that's why whenever I do want to get into Rod and Jerry's relationship or their friendship, whatever you want to call it, like their dynamic was so good to watch because they both had weaknesses and strengths, right?
We'll go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, pull up my notes here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, do that.
I really mostly had like kind of just the relationship dynamic with just
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
A few of the main characters, but no, I feel like Rod was kind of like Jerry's wake up call, because he was telling Jerry the truth. He was calling him out on his flaws, and again, no one was talking to Jerry like this. Remember, he's the guy. You don't talk to the top guy like this or call him out on anything. You just kind of roll with it. He gives you the big money, and that's it.
The closest thing was his birthday video when all of the chicks were saying,
"Oh yeah,
these things about Jerry, like, oh, Jerry can't be alone." That type of, that whole thing. That was probably the closest thing to like him dealing with like that level of truth.
And I think because it's funny, and he demands consistency from Jerry. Like he's demanding it. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you need to be consistent. You know what I mean? So again, Rod was just an amazing character, and he didn't let Jerry be masked behind his charm. You know, he's weeding through all of that. Like, no, like I'm trying to see what you're about and your capabilities aside from all the, you know, now you don't have the machine behind you. So let's, you know, and I'm not, you know, a starter or whatever his position was. So you do have to kind of grind it out with me to get me in these positions. And then of course Rob would have to do his part too. But yeah, I love their dynamic. And then even when he was having the conversation, because I don't know how we end up getting to Jerry proposing, like that was just super crazy to me. But I think there was a conversation with Rod and Jerry about that. Because then he was like, "You didn't have a conversation, did you?" He just went into marrying her, but I don't remember what that conversation was. So if y'all do,
It was after Jerry and Dorothy had their little, late night adult activities. And he was telling Rod about it, and Rod told him basically like, because he asked him like, "Have you ever dated a single mother?"
He
He's like,
shoplifted.
"Crazy about one." He's like, "Shoplift." Anyway, but he was yeah, he was telling him like, when it comes to a single mother, you have to come correct. Like you have to have a conversation with her about your intentions, basically. And
Okay.
that's when he was like, "So I guess you didn't have conversation." Because he jumped straight to let's get married. It's like, what? What? But
Maybe Jerry has abandonment issues.
could be.
Yeah.
Because like that whole thing, that's the looming thing that just sticks with me. Is like Jerry can't be alone. And it's like, where does that stem from? Like, I don't even know how much information we hear about his mom.
None.
None. Okay, so I don't know if she passed or what the situation was, but it's got to be some kind of abandonment thing. Not say that she abandoned him, because there was a little bit of conversation about his father, but like it seemed like there's something there, like because he can't be alone. So interesting. But anyway, what were you going?
But I was gonna say that the relationship between um Rod and Jerry is also one of my favorite things about the movie. I feel like they brought out the best in each other.
Mm-hmm.
They were like mirrors to each other, showing each other like where they needed to improve in their respective lives. And Rod had a way of showing Jerry, what it meant to be open and really like had like someone being honest with him and showing
Mm-hmm.
him what it was like to really, truly love your family and care for your wife and, have things that mean more to you than work. And then on the flip side, Jury was a mirror to Raj, showing him basically like you have to compromise. You like, yeah, as an agent, my job is to talk good. I have mouthpiece, and you are hard to get along with. You're not the person people like in the locker room. You're always complaining. You have
Mm-hmm.
to learn how to be more personable in your work. And it was kind of like Jerry showing Rod the work side and Rod showing Jerry the personal side. And it kind of just balanced out. And it turned to be like a really great relationship that I really appreciated,
Mm-hmm.
which I'll talk about more in a later section of our show.
Yeah, like Jerry kept it real with him, telling like you play from here, not here. And for those that listen, like he said, you're thinking about things instead of feeling things. That's how you play when it comes to being a wide receiver in the NFL. That's the way you play. He's like, and again, that resonates for him because he would hear that. And there's something to appreciate when you got friends that will tell you about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And long as it's a fair observation, like you've been around with me enough, even in recent history, and this is your observation, I got to be open to hear what you're saying. Like if you ain't been around me in a while, then you come say, "Oh, it seems like this, seems like that." Nah, you don't have a stake in your opinion in regards to who my character is. But like them two, how they were rocking, they were around each other a lot. So I like the things that y'all said. Jerry at Dorothy's house for the first time. he's at her house. I think he comes over drunk.
Yeah.
He's drunk, and obviously she's still in like I'm with you type vibe, like because she left the job and quit as well with Jerry, which is crazy because I don't know about y'all, but I wouldn't be. He really embarrassed himself there. Like, there's just no way. If I'm Jerry Maguire, I'm like, who's with me? Like,
And also, he came over there after Avery had just beat his ass.
oh yeah, all right, I got
She
busy
was
on him.
beating the brakes off of him, boy.
Hey man, listen. But yeah, he pulled up. We got the shades. He drunk. We see, Dorothy, her sister try to put him on game. She was like, hopefully he's not that good looking. All that. Day. He pulls up, and obviously he is that, that good looking. And what do y'all think about this introduction and this scene with Jerry at Dorothy's house for the first time?
Him being drunk is crazy. But obviously he just got he just broke up with his fiance, right? Who knows how long they were together,
Exactly.
But what I like about Dorothy is like she was always trying to see the end of the tunnel when it came to Jerry. Now don't be crazy now. Don't just be walking blindly, but clearly she eventually had that realization, like, but as we get later. But I like Dorothy a lot too, just because. But let's be clear, like we ain't quitting jobs and we got babies and we need to figure out what's going on. She was in accounting. I do remember her saying that. Shout out to the accountants. But but yeah, so like her sister was very blunt, very like you said, have somebody that's just a straight shooter. And I really like people like that. It's crazy. I'm not like that, but I love people that are like straight shooters.
You
But
really
just
do.
don't.
You
I
really
don't
do.
know why. I just think this is something. It's a certain level of freedom to just.
It feels good. Like it feels good to
But
hear
I mean,
somebody
don't be
like that.
disrespectful though. Like I don't like the ones that are like just blatantly disrespectful. But if you
Yeah,
just
that's different.
telling it like it is, but still keeping that.
You just talking shit at that point. Like if you
Yeah.
disrespectful, you just talking shit. You're not trying to have like a
Yeah.
conducive conversation with your
Right. Right.
honesty. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then so he's still looking at the fish over there, right? She got the fish. And then he's like kind of, I think, trying to get into the details of the plans
Mm-hmm.
while
Yeah.
he's drunk. And then they somehow end up kind of doing a quick little kiss session. He do a little
Little
handsy.
make out section.
Yeah, he gets a little handsy, and then her reaction kind of threw me because it's like this is really what you want. You know what I mean? You really want it, but her reaction was kind of like it was weird to me in a sense of
What do
it.
you think that was? Like what do you think she was thinking?
I mean, she was shocked. I mean, I'm sure she knew he was drunk, but like,
Her sister just told her like he'll
mm,
do basically like so many words
sure,
he'll do anything right now.
true. It's like it was a Helga moment to me, aside from her being mean to him. Like, like you grab your boob and you're just like, but you really like do it again, But you're like, oh, grab the other one. Like that's really what you.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be
Everybody
quiet.
get up.
Go ahead.
No, I think in that moment she was probably like, okay, he's drunk. He just broke up with his girlfriend. He's got a cut on his face. He's not in the right state of mind. Like this is not sexy. This is actually kind of embarrassing. Um, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I It's hard for me to talk about this particular piece of it because I have I have problems with the love story in general.
Okay.
Like the whole Dorothy and Jerry love story, just I don't
Believe it.
feel it. I don't like it. I have thoughts that I put in our later section about it. And so talking about like that, it's like, okay, I have
Hmm.
so many issues with the way it was presented and the way
Mm.
Agree
that
100%.
I wish it was done differently, if at all. Like So it was awkward to me, this whole introduction of him and her at her sister's house. And maybe it was supposed to be clumsy and awkward. And the dynamic between them just is just weird to me, which is why, again, his scene with Ray when Ray was supposed to be asleep was my favorite part of the scene.
Yeah, no doubt.
When he's talking to him and the human head weighs 8 pounds. And it's just like he was so cute. And they had such a cute banter where he's like, I won't tell that you're supposed to be sleeping. He's like, I won't tell that you said the F word. And then he goes back to sleep and he doesn't tell her that he was awake. And it was just a really cute dynamic between them. But between him and Dorothy, I just can't really, it didn't connect for me.
Why doesn't it connect? Like, or do you feel like it's unrealistic, or you don't like them two together,
I mean,
or
if you
is it
get
something you want to
into it,
wait
we can
for?
get into it now, but I'll say there's something undercooked about the love story. I feel like it's presented as she believes in him. She's loyal to his cause, his vision. He really loves her son, and he enjoys her loyalty and her um
Devotion.
devotion to him and his cause. But I don't think we ever get a moment until that very last scene of them, if that we see a real romantic relationship evolving. It seems like it went from her coming to work with him, her seeming to be inspired by him, her having a crush on him, to him being like, oh, she's here. I like her. She's rocking with me. I like her son. Why not? Let's just do it. But it never ever get like the chemistry between Rod and Marcy, you can see it. It was super believable right
Yeah,
from
absolutely.
every scene with them, every moment of care, you felt it. With Dorothy and Jerry, you believe his moments with Ray, but his moments with her, it just seems like a relationship of convenience for him. I didn't see any type of romantic connection forming. It
So
just seemed like
you
they
didn't
did.
feel that way on the porch when they had the porch scene? That do you feel like that? Like that whole scene wasn't?
I don't it wasn't enough. I feel like and that's one of the only problems I have with it is I feel like there was too much trying to be done at once. Like the movie was about him and his career and his relationship with his client, and they tried to fit the love story in.
Love in there.
They didn't
That
do it.
'90s formula, yeah.
They didn't
Neither.
develop the love
It's
story enough for me.
no, I agree.
Okay.
Like there, I don't have a disagreement at all on that because it was premature. It was like we just went from quitting our jobs to trying to start our own company to getting married. It's just there's nothing, there's no meat and potatoes in there. Oh yeah, that's definitely warranted because I'm like, even at the end when he came in to the divorce party and stuff, it's just like, yeah, he said some things, but it's like, I'm looking for my wife, and you're trying to be heartfelt, but it's like there's no foundation to this
Exactly.
marriage. There's no foundation. This is literally made of straw. Like there's nothing there. And then you like her. And like she said, I think you like me a lot. And that's why I'm glad she had that realization. Like, it's just not, we're not, this is not equally yoked.
But is it really her fault? Like she was kind of leaning into,
Saying it's her fault,
because she was
but
like leaning into it. But I'm like,
she was, but I
I
think she,
appreciate her taking responsibility, but I that's why I want to see what y'all thought. Like, is it really her fault? Like she feel like she's pressing the issue, and then he
what,
obviously,
the marriage?
well, not that, but like just forcing the issue of this is more than what it actually is.
What do you mean? Like, what do you,
Well, the way she was presenting it to him, like, I know you really like me a lot, I love you, but like she always she was already infatuated with him. She already had plans in her mind for, oh, he's good with my son. Oh, he's good with me. We've been intimate. We got chemistry, but you know what I mean? Like she ain't really like see where Jerry is for real, but Jerry obviously makes some decision on his own. And I think that ties into like Jerry can't be alone type of concept. So I don't know. Like she said it, but I didn't feel like she should have took all of the blame. Say, "Oh, you like me a lot, but
Oh
you
no,
don't
I
back me."
agree.
Okay.
No, I agree. She shouldn't have took all the blame. Absolutely not. I think it was both of them. Like you said, Jerry doesn't. He was with her because she was loyal. She was there when everyone left him when everything was crumbling. So he's like sticking. Like everything he kept saying was just about not being alone. Like I stick. I don't run. Like I'm not leaving because he just kept he was still in sport agent mode when it came to her. Like a lot of the stuff he was saying, it was surface.
Yeah.
They didn't really talk about anything deep beyond the surface. Yeah, I smashed one time or maybe whatever, how many times. But it's like other than that, I mean that anybody can do that.
Yeah, you're right. Mia.
Agreed. I'm like, yeah. She said, he's like, what do you want, my soul? She's like, yeah, what you mean? I deserve that. Give it, head it here. And I'm not built like that. Okay, obviously we're not compatible. Why are we even playing these games? It just felt forced to me.
Okay.
I would have much better if they would have ended things as business partners and really close friends, him having a great relationship with Ray, them having a great relationship, but not being married. Like maybe she met somebody else who was more around her love language. I just don't. It didn't connect for me.
That's not far fetched.
We got a good line out of it, but
Just kind of try to conclude it. We see Rod Tidwell. We get this whole scene and the family. His family's all watching him play. His son is getting upset seeing his father get hit like that and getting up slowly. Jerry's obviously at the game. They had made the decision to split him and Dorothy because of him just liking her a lot, not loving her. Rod is playing his heart out. They're hitting him crazy, and then finally they get a double team hit, and he does a whole full flip, and he's laid out unconsciously for a while until he finally gets up and realizes where he is. And this is like the first time. I feel like not the first time, but like it feels like he took Jerry's advice when Jerry told him, "Hey, you play from here and not here," because at that moment he's like, "Let me have this moment." In his heart, he realized, like, bro, I don't know how many years I got left. I don't know how many more times I'm going to be able to hear the fans cheer, how many times I'm going to be able to celebrate a touchdown, how many more times I'm going to lace up, dress up. And, he really makes the most of it. And obviously Jerry's there. And then even earlier, Bob Sugar tried to take his clients like, bro, like, there's a lot of things I could say right now that I'm not going to say. But Bob Sugar was like way out of pocket. Like, you got all my clients already. Now you want to get him because he has. All right.
Like my one client.
One client. Like, that's really sharkish behavior, bro.
And I was your mentor. It's crazy.
Newsflash, you wasn't. You were my trainer. That's what that is, bro. But yeah, so Rod, he does all that, and it ends up working out. But we get a moment where it's like, yo, is he all right? It's a real heartfelt moment when we see his family. But he ends up getting up, and it works out. Obviously, there's the wedding scene, and we get to see like him just kind of not taking a knee. Probably didn't have a ring on him, but he was like, "Marry me" and all that, And then there's this interesting scene where they're watching the video back, and Rod sees Jerry's face, and not only does he, but Dorothy sees the face. Hey, hey, Jerry looked like how we look when we had a certain budget at the grocery store, and you're like, do I really need this? I said I was gonna spend 175. Now I'm at 225. I got to start making decisions. That's how Jerry looks. What do y'all think about this whole reaction between Rod seeing that, trying to bring them together, her seeing that, and then what ended up producing obviously is her later down in the episode. I mean, in the movie, talking about how you really, really like me, but I know that you don't love me.
True. I mean, the reaction track because again, as me and Mia said, like there was no foundation anyway. So just because you got a whole ceremony set up and like you're doing the thing, is like you don't want to do that. I'm not saying ever, but like this is premature. This is not genuine. It's forced, like Mia said, it's forced. So it's like, yeah, you're over there. I can't believe I just got married. Like, yeah, we
Because,
can't either.
like, what? He wanted to do it because she was about to take a job out of town and he didn't want her to go because he can't be alone
Mm-hmm.
and he needs her. And it's like, this is ridiculous. What are we doing? Yes, of course. You proposed on a whim. She said yes. Now y'all actually done got married super quick. And yeah, this is real. Now you have a wife. And now you don't ever even want to be home. You're trying to jet around the world, following behind your one client
You
who
ain't
don't
even
even need you
calling
with
home.
all his games. But you just want to be there because you don't want to be home with this new wife that you barely know.
You're not even calling to check in or nothing. But when you
Like,
get home, you just happy to see Ray.
and then
Like,
like the scene where they were at the table with Marcy and Rod, and you see Marcy and Rod loving on each other, and he just kissed her hand like, "Oh, let me do something real quick to show some
it
sort of
was
affection, because well, I don't even know what I'm doing." It was just like they never
scary.
rectified that for me.
It was so bad. It's like trying to kiss my shoulder. Like, boy, get on.
Like, if that's not how we rock, that's not how we rock. Don't try to
Right,
kiss on me because they're kissing on each other if that's
right.
not how you really feel. Like, come on. Ugh. Yuck.
Jerry couldn't be alone, just wanted stability, and obviously she wanted like a whole family dynamic, a father to come in and blend with Ray and obviously love her unconditionally and stuff. So, they just had two different ideas in their head of what they thought they were doing together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is one of the realest moments of the movie to me, um, because a lot of things. And I imagine the '90s was so different as far as the dating scene, but it was one of the realest moments. When she said that, like I get it, and she took more responsibility than she should have, but
Absolutely.
but but I do get her piece in it because she did say like I did take advantage of you. When you were down, like I became a support system in a sense, and she did like rock with who he was, but also you didn't really try to be a friend. You were like, I, I'll
But
I'll ride with you, like as far as employee to employer, but like that was always the gig as far as I'm using this to finesse an opportunity to get in a dating motion with you. And then when I found out you was not engaged anymore, let's triple down.
know that she took advantage of him. Like when she said that, I didn't even like that statement. Like taking advantage is kind of like heavy to me. Like
Well, he
I
was
ain't
he
feel
was
that way.
but he was in a vulnerable state. That's what I think she was getting at. Like,
I'm over here kissing me,
yeah,
drunk.
yeah, but you could have shut that off. Like,
She did in that moment.
huh?
She did in that moment.
Yeah, after you let him get it off though.
Bro, it was like a quick 2-second joint. Like it wasn't
Nah,
even.
if you see it, you know him coming over. You shouldn't even have him, let him in.
Yeah, but she's thinking that. I mean, they're talking about their business that they're like. I literally
This
just
man got
quit.
sunglasses on at night.
She didn't know he was going to be drunk. Is what I'm saying.
Not
Like
not
I don't
not
know he was.
knock it off. He's got sunglasses on at
No,
night,
but
and he
so you
pulls up to your
saying
car. He
like
didn't call to say, "Hey, I'm coming over." He pulled up, got the taxi, bro. No Uber. He just pulled up out of nowhere. The sister already know what time it is, and she gave
so
her the
you're
talk
saying
with the spaghetti on the. Come on, man.
so you're saying she shouldn't even let him in the house. Like just
Like
come
she
back
should,
when
yeah,
you're.
holler at him on the porch. Like, look, hey, listen.
Yeah, she could have done that.
And again, it's a lot of liberty, but even if she had let him in, the minute she smelled the brew on his breath, all right, hey, this is not a good idea. Like the old movies used to be. This is not a good idea. But like you wanted that though, you wanted that kiss, but then her morality came into it. Like I said, I think she shouldn't have took so much responsibility because Jerry definitely plays a part in it. But I think in that moment, like when she says, "I took advantage of you," yeah, it seems like this like when you hear advantage, you think evil, and I don't think it was like evil. I just think it was just personal intentions, like what she wanted to gain and how she felt about him. But he
Same
wasn't a, but he was.
though. He had his intentions and what he
He didn't
wanted.
know, and he took advantage as well. Like she's a single mom. She's 10 years younger than me, just about. You know, I was that guy, and so. But she was just keeping it a being. That's pretty much all that I got for the film. I want to see any last statements or any scenes, conversations y'all want to have about this movie before we kind of get into our next section of the film.
Only one thing. I just want to say that in the end, I love after Rod has his moment and he's getting interviewed, that he shouts out to Jerry because of all that they've gone through together to get him to that point. And it was just like the moment that wraps the movie up in a pretty little bow. That it was all worth it for Jerry. It was all worth it for Rod. And everybody basically gets their happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a beautiful scene too. And then just take it a little further up, the other scene when he, after he got the touchdown and the reporters are out there and then he's looking for Jerry. That was another like intimate moment where they hug each other, they crying it out, like had me getting choked up because it's just, what's understood don't need to be explained. It was just that moment. And again, no one can get Jerry emotional like that other than look like Rod and Ray. Double R. So, yeah.
The earlier scene, we didn't talk about it, but the earlier scene where, Rod's wife was like, "Hey, we ain't about to let nobody define us." You know what I'm saying? And pretty much Rod was like down with it. Was like, "Hey, listen, whatever I got to do, Jerry." He had finally got to a submissive place to say, "Hey, listen, I'm thinking about my family, and I don't want to miss my opportunity." And I like it, and I liked Dorothy stepping up and speaking. That was really good too, because I mean, she was riding for Jerry in the sense of an agent, not so much that's my man. So, but yeah, like that scene, I almost had tears as well. But like when he had got hit, he had woke up, like tears of joy, just because I was just so happy because it's. I'm not gonna have this monologue on this episode, but it's just so deep. You see, like this black NFL player, like so much it took to get to this point, and like in this moment, it's so deep. But that's our episode. Before we get out of here, though, we got some categories to get into. So, with that being said, character you relate to the most, Mia.
I actually said Dorothy.
Hmm.
Like, of course, there are a lot of things I found in Marcy that I related to, but when it came to Dorothy, I feel like there was something about her being so attached to this inspiration and this potential and this ideal that she had in her head about Jerry and about his mission. And I get really impassioned like that sometimes, probably prematurely as well.
Like in a supportive
Uh,
way,
hmm.
like in a supportive way.
Yeah, like can just be blindly loyal and supportive in certain situations. So I was like, I can relate, relatable.
Mm. Ash.
I had Dorothy as well.
Mm.
Um, More on the single mother side. Obviously, I'm remarried, so just wondering if you will find love again, and then how that dynamic will be with you bringing a child into a new relationship and what their relationship will be. So I related to her in wanting to have that family dynamic and wanting someone to love your child like their own. So
Mm. Oh, she was just remarried.
you know, you know what I'm saying?
You know?
You know?
It's like a mixture between Jerry and Rod. I mean, that's cheat code, obviously, because he's just like two big characters. But like Jerry, in the sense that he wanted to change the narrative of his life. He wanted to feel better about the route he was going. I've been there in the sense of like, this is the way I've been looked at. This is the way I'm categorized. But I, getting past how people feel about me, how I felt about myself. He said I hated myself, and then he got further down saying, "But I hated." Well, I'll get into it in a later section. But then also the Rod connection is like also the flip side of it, like feeling like people owe you all the time, feeling like you do this, you do that, you do that, and then having a humbling experience. Say, all right, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. If I need to shut up, if I need to chill out, I'm willing to do what it takes. So it's a little bit of both, but probably a little more Jerry if I got to choose one. Uh, get to stepping character that you could do without. Ash.
Sugar. He was annoying. He was a snake. He was like a gnat, always just popping up. Um,
You don't think the movie needed him?
I mean, probably, but he still can get the step because this is no different when you be getting rid of lyric from Jason's lyric, okay?
Or what's her name from Harriet the Spy?
Billy, yeah. So I'm getting rid of
That's
Boxer.
fine. All right, fair. I said lyric. That's crazy. Jason's lyric.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, Mia.
I said Avery. Girl, I could do without you. Like, I don't think he needed the prior relationship to prove any kind of point. I just don't feel like it added anything to his character or to the story.
I got Dickie Fox, Jerry's mentor. Like we get him as these like message card transitions through the movie, and it's like, bro, shut up. Like we don't need you. You're not important. Like this, and this is not a bias, but I think it works better in black films. Like in black films, when you have that like message type person, it works because there's this deepness, but there's also this comedic thing. When you have him, it's just like we don't need you because you're not like whose conscious are you? You're not Jerry's conscious because he's not doing what you're saying. So I every time I see him pop up, I was like, bro, get him out of here. And I did not remember that back in the day when I was a kid watching it. So Dickie Fox, he can go. Mia, lines that deserve to be slimed.
I have some of the ones that everybody knows. Show me the money. I have a human head weighs 8 pounds. We determine our worth. I didn't shoplift the pootie. All right, I shoplifted the pootie. And that's it.
All right, Ash.
Yeah. Show me the money, Jerry. You know, uh, this is his fourth concussion. Shouldn't somebody tell him to stop? The kid from the hospital. I had lost the ability to bullshit, Jerry. That's how you become a great man. Hang your balls out there. The store clerk. This is us. You and me determine our worth, Marcy. And you are a strong, proud, surviving, splendid black man, Marcy.
Mm. I can't escape one simple thought. I hated myself. No, no, no. Here's what it is. Here's what it was. I hated my place in the world. Jerry Maguire. I have lost the ability to bullshit. Same as Ash. I guess I did not write that right because I can't even read it properly. But I don't know what it is like to be a black person. I'm Mr. Black Person. This is Jerry. So he's on the phone.
Oh, he was saying the first part was like a question.
He's like, I don't know what it's like to be I don't know what it's like to be a black person. I'm Mr. Black Person. That's what it was when he was trying to save face. You're if you got to hold on. You loving me now, aren't you? That's right. If I got to ride your ass like Zorro, you gonna show me the money. We in this together, Rod Tidwell. You're hanging on by a very thin thread. You're hanging on by a very thin thread, my friend. And I did that about you. Hey, Rod, that's where he was naked in the locker room, bro. I love that line because he's like, you're hanging on by a very thin thread, but I dig that about you because he was too, you know. We bottom feeders start the morning with cereal. That was Jerry, obviously, you know, ear hustling. And lastly, a real man doesn't shoplift the pootie from a single mother. That was a fire little line in '96. You know what I mean? Straight up, like don't play with her like that, man. She got a lot going on. Things you would change about the movie, or what you feel they didn't get right, Ash.
Just a few. Jerry and Dorothy saying they love each other. That was just premature. Jerry asking Dorothy to marry her was even more premature. And Rod getting up from a concussion, doing all type of dances, moving around, jumping up on the bleachers. But that's it.
Mia.
Oh, so of course I told you that half-baked love story between Dorothy and Jerry. The extent of the dancing after the hit that Rod took was a little bit much for me. It was like, okay, do a little 1-2, and then you could be.
He did a whole breakdance.
And he did the whole
Spin-a-rooney.
Too much shucking and jiving, boys. But but no, nothing too much else. I enjoy this film. It's just, you know, those two little things.
For me, when they were doing the opening montage and voice narration, the beginning when the kid from Indiana, shout out to my city, you know what I mean? But they said he scored 100 points in a game. Come on now, bro. Knock it off. This is high school. Like, come on. When Jerry and Dorothy goes on a date, it ends abruptly, and I feel like I wanted more. I felt like that maybe could have fixed some of the problems y'all had about their romantic relationship. We get this moment, and then she has to take a phone call, and she calls to check on her son, and we transition. And I didn't get to say this, but that on the porch scene, I thought that was really good though. Like, as much as y'all don't maybe feel the connection between them, I thought that was really good as far as Jerry, the whole romantic slow build, kissing the neck, all that. I love when they can build sexual tension in television and movies. And you know, it's a little bit more hierarchy and rich versus like just low hanging fruit. I had the same thing with y'all, Rod. Like, I just think that you would have gotten you know, they would have thrown a flag on you if you was doing all that. Like, you're doing spin-a-roonies, you're jumping up with the crowd, you're doing dances, Ray Lewis dances. Like, yeah, they would have got you out of there. And an interesting fact too, he did all his own stunts.
Does that breakdance?
I can believe that.
Yeah, he did all his stunts. Football, he took the hit, everything, I guess. So he did all his own stunts. Lastly, more of the story in your opinion. Ash Bash.
You can't measure your worth by your career alone.
Can't measure your worth by your career alone. Hey, deep. Mia.
You'll always win when you move with love.
Yeah, bodying this. You always win when you move with love. For me, words have power. That's a spiritual gift of mine. So I'm very cognizant with what I say because I can't tell you how many times I say stuff and it happens. Like nobody would believe me when I tell you I say things all the time and it happens. So I'm very careful with my words. Jerry making the memo / mission statement, less clients, less money, and then end up getting down to one client. This is what you wish for. You didn't realize it. So be careful what you wish for. Your words have power. So with that being said, that is our episode. Man, I thank y'all truly. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope by the time y'all hearing this, if y'all watching this on YouTube, I'm glad that y'all chose us. If y'all listening, shout out to y'all. With that being said, we did something different. We talked about it on our anniversary episode, but we are here now. We are doing our 4th movie of the month, or maybe it ties into the next month. Who knows? But our 4th movie of the month in this rotation, we put it out there on our Instagram as well as our YouTube. And the movies that came up was Who Ate the Potato Salad, Who Made the Potato Salad, and Back to the Future. So, with that being said, the votes have came in, and we have 3 votes for Who Made the Potato Salad, 1 vote for Back to the Future, and then we also had another vote, which was C, another movie. We had something that was voted for that, but unfortunately, the timing didn't fit, so we couldn't do that. So with that being said, our next movie will be, because y'all chose it, Who Made the Potato Salad? Interesting fact, before we close, that was going to be my movie before I picked this.
Really?
Facts. I just seen it like a month and a half ago. And I was going to pick it because I knew it was a deep cut. I knew a lot of people haven't seen it. Only reason I didn't pick it is because I chose Bones in our October month, which was a silly movie, and I didn't want to choose another silly movie. So that's the only reason, because I was this close. So the fact that people brought that up made it great. So anything I want to say about this movie? Mia, you hadn't seen it. Ash, you hadn't seen it in a long time. Anything I want to say about this movie before we get out?
I've never seen it, but my mom has been telling me and trying to get me to watch this movie forever. And I know it was probably her who put it in there in the first place because she's trying
she was one of them.
Anything she can to get me to watch this movie. I have refused for years.
You sound like Rich when he refused to watch what was it, Mike Epps stand up? It was yeah, it's a deep story, but anyway.
And I'm like, okay, so she finally got me. Now I gotta watch it.
Got him. Ash.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing this movie all the way through, so it's kind of probably like a press play for me. So we'll see.
I'm gonna go spoiler alert. It's not a good movie, so just go on, suspend your anticipation. This is straight to DVD vibe. So I'm gonna get that out of the way. So yeah, I know. So that changed how y'all take your notes, I believe. Gotcha. Well, yeah, we thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all, again, y'all can reach out, childishgrownups3@gmail.com. Reach out to us on Instagram, The Childish Grown Up Show, no spaces. Next week, when we do our next episode, I will begin to put it out there. If y'all want us to review your movie, we'll present this every week. And when we get to our 4th movie, then it's on y'all. We'll make sure that we get y'all ahead of the game. So it'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Instagram. There'll be a poll on Instagram. There'll be a post on YouTube. Get it in as early as possible, because if you don't, your movie won't be considered for that rotation. So it's a big deal. We're getting into our Christmas rotation. And so y'all tune in. Y'all keep subscribing. Thank y'all to the Stoop Kids. Mia, Ash, anything y'all want to say before we get out of here on this Thanksgiving episode?
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Just love on your loved ones and have a wonderful time.
Same. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone who celebrates. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your time off work if you have it. And eat a whole lot of food. Eat too much and then get back in the gym on Monday.
Hey. Yeah. I think I'm gonna drop this on Thanksgiving. I think it's the fitting way. So this will be out on Thanksgiving. Everything they said, man, y'all have a great Thanksgiving, man. Eat some food, have some laughs, get a freestyle session going, and then you hang out with the cousins and y'all do what y'all do. So thank y'all for tuning in, man. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for subscribing. I gotta say this, Mama C, if you're listening, Candace,
Public.
you're listening, Public Enemy B, y'all listening, leave us an Apple review. Like, this is going to help us get further in this journey that we're in. If y'all really rock with us, y'all really love what we're doing in this space, from the nostalgia and movie review podcast, put an Apple review. The YouTube is great, and keep doing the YouTube, but please do an Apple review. That's going to help us. We need those 5 stars, and we also need those comments. So please do that for us. But in the meantime, in between time, thank y'all for tuning in. Have a happy Thanksgiving. It's been a happy holidays. Peace out.